Angels, this is the weekly love reading. We're beginning with yes, spend money, and weekend away with the dice. And Spirit says sex. I feel like it can come up as a topic or actual sex. Like you may you probably mean like what is sex? What does it mean for sex to come up as a topic? I don't know. I just got like all of a sudden like somebody being confronted with it. Maybe it's something you got to talk about before you go into it. Maybe you got to discuss, I don't know, birth control and protection and all that kind of stuff. But I just saw it as a topic also. Anyway, party is another one. And lastly, try again. I too will try again. Let's see. And it still says try again. And then I guess this is also giving us a message like if at first you don't succeed, try again. Already twice I tried again. And Spirit says email. So maybe for some of us that are trying to reach someone, we tried, other methods, and now an email may be what actually works. But the cards are beginning with the King of Cups. It's one of the most loving cards in the deck. If you are single and the King of Cups shows up, this can mean that somebody like really of a balanced energy, like balanced inner masculine and feminine energies in a really like healthy way is coming toward you. And if you're already in a relationship, this can mean, it just gets that much more romantic and sweeter. The numerology deck, we're beginning with nature. And card number 74, which equals 11. And interestingly enough, right behind it, also upright, card number 11, individuality. And I think this could be talking about one's individual nature, like yourself as a, as an individual human being. And not only your nature, but make sure you're nurturing yourself as an individual too. With the Ascended Master deck, we're beginning with Open Your Heart to Love and Jesus. And with the Angel and Animal Tarots, Major Arcana card 8, Justice. Fair decisions will be made after all of the evidence is reviewed impartially. Have compassion for others and try to see all sides of a disagreement. And seeing this number 8 reminds me of why I was guided to pull out the Ascended Master cards. It's supposed to be the most opportune time to worship, worship, I guess is the best word. The god Lord Shiva the Destroyer. And the 8 reminded me because in Supreme Math, 8 means build, destroy. And in angel numbers, it can also be tied to abundance. And that would be actually, for what people are praying to Lord Shiva for. It's the month of Shravan. So that is considered to be the most, like I said, opportune time to worship Lord Shiva and ask him to knock down obstacles in your life, things that are not working, and to rebuild things more abundantly for you. On that note, we got some cards that look like that. I mean, this is about our desires, right? Our prayers, our wishes, and this is that new beginning. So I forgot. Maybe I'll do an abundance reading. Only abundance in honor of Shravan and Lord Shiva. Oh. 3 of Swords in reverse is our overall energy. So moving beyond hurt in terms of love. And it looks like to, something new and sweet that wants to start with the Page of Cups showing up. Page of Cups, of course, similar to the King. I didn't mention it for the King. Potentially an actual person in your life. And also potentially, even further to that, a direct water sign. A Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. maybe specifically Pisces. We have the moon showing up behind the Page of Cups. The moon does represent the sign of Pisces. This can also be about the planet Neptune and the energy of Pisces, which it rules, talking about like our deepest, darkest secrets within, including our true loves. And then we have this lobster here, which always reminds me of the energy of Scorpio as well. So if it is a direct water sign that this is relating to in your life, I would say in Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer, in that order. And the next card is the King of Wands, but he is in reverse. Another 8 here with environment. And actually, those two cards opposite each other were in 8-11. 8-11 is the day that Sirius rises. We can see Sirius like in broad daylight on that day. Overall energy is physical activity. Maybe sex. Again, that's in the master deck. Oh, so the other reason was I pulled out the Ascended Master deck, and I used it for the general reading too. But Lord Shiva, is Shiva in here? I thought I remembered him being in here. If he is in here, he didn't show up. But that was why I had pulled out this deck. Or at least one of the reasons. We got positive change showing up. I was going to say, there he is. No, that's Krishna. Find the blessing in your current situation. Ponyan. I think, now that I think about it, I think I remember the deck that Shiva's in. I don't think it's this one. I think it's the Keepers of the Light Oracle. Overall energy here is yoga, followed by follow your strengths. Next card is Horus in reverse. Did I talk about what justice means for love and relationship? I don't think I did. So if you're in like a long-term relationship and wondering if it's going to make it when injustice shows up in your love reading, it's probably not. You're probably going to decide to end that relationship. And it could even be something like actual divorce. You know, justice can be tied to legal issues or, you know, a family court situation. You got to see who gets custody of the kid or something like that. But alternatively, if you're single and looking, or if you're talking about maybe a shorter term relationship, justice can be about a deepening of commitment or meeting somebody really, really soon, somebody of a balanced nature. So it does go well with the King of Cups also. Maybe the person will be a Libra Scorpio, because justice represents the sign of Libra. And we have an overall energy of the Seven of Pentacles. Seeds well planted. A temporary pause in action. Unnecessary worry. Followed by the Five of Air. An unwise choice. Learn what you can from the situation. Review everyone's motives. This is about conflict usually. And there's that Three of Swords. Great sadness. Take time to heal. There's a need to forgive yourself and others. So for some of us, you may have already experienced a breakup, separation, parting of ways. This could be recent. This could be over, you know, months ago, years ago even. Maybe it was some things that were said or done that, you know, we can't take back. And, you know, now we've taken steps and begun to do what we need to do to move forward. And that is, you know, perhaps what is allowing the energy to move forward towards us right now. Okay, we'll see the overall energy for each element, beginning with fire. This week, your card is the Hierophant. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. The Hierophant in reverse. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Two of Pentacles, also in reverse. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. The Emperor, upright. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. The Knight of Swords, upright. So, starting with the Three of Swords in reverse, to, you know, from a perspective of, like more so the traditional tarot, of course, it points to misunderstandings, sadness, sorrow, separation. A relationship may have just ended, or, you know, one that you expected to have come together by now and worked out by now, maybe hasn't done so. This happened with my girlfriend the other day. Yeah, I'll tell you about it. So you got to allow yourself to go through whatever pain, you know, comes up as a result, and not let it turn into like an oh woe is me, like wallowing in sorrow, or, you know, like self persecution and things like that. You know, just sort of going with the flow organically, and seeing what happens. So like I said, my girlfriend was having one of these Three of Swords moments the other day, actually with the element of swords, with an air sign, and a Libra male, and she's a Scorpio female. And he ended up blocking her on every possible thing he could block her on, you know, like all of the social media, WhatsApp, phone, everything. And I called him and ended up talking to him for a while. And by the end of our conversation, he, you know, unblocked her. But in the meantime, she was going through all of this sort of, you know, like it's over for real, and what am I going to do? And really, it was a matter in total of about 6 hours that she was blocked, you know. So most of us, I suspect, have been through a lot worse. And so it really does, it really is a matter of letting the situation play out and see what happens. That doesn't mean you can't take some kind of action, like asking your friend to call, but, you know, letting the situation play out before you go to the most dire possible outcome. You know what I mean? All right, so let's get to the fire signs specifically, because I want to have time to do the individual signs as well. So the fire signs, this is going to be, I guess, like your overall for the week. The Hierophant in reverse, not a bad card. It just means that you're probably getting sort of bored, weary of the same old situations and types of relationships. You know, so like in your relationships, the same things all the time, maybe the same argument, or the same like routine, and there's nothing spontaneous or interesting about it. Or maybe the same singleness, or the same types of, you pick the same types of people all over and over and it doesn't work. You know, all of those things. And you may find that you have to, well, either you have to, or you may just have like a longing to step outside of your usual routine, or maybe even your usual role. You know, maybe you ever, I know like a lot of us independent women, we've at least once in our life probably had this occasion when we say like, I'm tired of being so independent. I'm tired of being so strong. I like to chill and let somebody, you know, do some stuff for me. So it can be something like that, changing roles or whatever. And you should honor that if this is what you're going through. Hierophant has a connection to the traditional and the like established way of doing things. So we do have to be careful about like pushing too hard or too fast. And, you know, if we do that, we could sort of alienate somebody, maybe even, you know, chase away a relationship or potential relationship. So we don't want to go too hard, but, you know, you should go ahead and shake it up if you're feeling so moved to do so. So moving on to the earth signs. This is your energy. It's Pentacles. It's Two of Pentacles. And this card, you know, is often appropriate for people of your nature, because you know, you guys have worked really hard. You're like some of the most dedicated and committed people to, you know, working hard, having a stable home and security and all that. And all these things are necessary and wonderful. But sometimes, you know, extremes are never good. That's what the problem is. And so sometimes what can happen with an earth sign or somebody who's earth sign like, as it relates to like work and things, can get so caught up in that work, or so focused on money or the material, the next thing that they need to have, setting the next goal and all that kind of stuff, that they don't really leave room for, you know, a relationship or a romantic life, a dating life, and those sorts of things. So that's what you got to be careful of, like of some other concern or something pulling your attention away from your mate or potential mate, or your opportunity, you know, to meet or mate or have a mate. So you know, like if you're single and you want to find somebody, then you got to leave space. You can't fill all your time with work, or, you know, name a random distraction. You know what I mean? You can't fill all your time with all that stuff. You have to leave space for, you know, this social life, basically. And it's necessary too for balance. Twos are also about balance. Necessary too for balance in, you know, as a human. Like you can't spend all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy, Jill a dull girl. You know, we have to have social lives also, for, you know, in order to be healthy, like emotionally healthy. So moving on to the air signs, we got this energy of fire. Major Arcana card 4, which is the Emperor, represents the planet Mars. Mars actually this week leaves Leo and moves into Virgo, for whatever that may be worth to somebody, but is the ruler of the sign of, or the signs of, Aries and Scorpio. So one of those people could be particularly involved or particularly significant to you this week, or in your situation, in your equation. Mars is, of course, the masculine planet of love. It's about action and you know, taking action, being aggressive about it, hot pursuit. And specific to love, the card can mean that we may find ourselves like falling for someone who's older than us, or maybe we are the older person and somebody younger, you know, is falling for us, or we've fallen for somebody younger. Whoever is representative of the Emperor energy is likely to be very like orderly and logical and needs organization. They may even come across sort of not ADHD. What's the other one where you just constantly having to put things in order? OCD. The attraction may not be mutual right away. The same friend, well, she was attracted right away. I was going to say the same friend met this older guy. It was years ago on my birthday. We went to a white party, a blue and white party, and by some like old friends from when I was like in high school or earlier even, that I grew up with. They were hosting the party. I hadn't seen them in forever, but I bought tickets and the two of us went on my birthday. And she met this guy, and he was older, and she started calling him AARP. AARP. But the relationship was one that grew into something really beautiful and wonderful. It wasn't necessarily from the onset, although they were attracted to each other. But sometimes even like the attraction isn't mutual from the very beginning when this card shows up. But if you're like patient and persistent, again, this is hot pursuit without being, so much so that you push the person away. If you do it in a healthy way, the situation, the relationship is likely to grow. Fireworks in the beginning of a relationship are awesome, but they don't last, right? We get that exciting feeling. So sometimes if you don't get that exciting feeling, but you end up with a relationship that lasts instead, you you know, it's your choice. You take your pick. This is more of a slow burn, this kind of connection, and it is likely to outlast the fireworks. You know what I mean? Moving on to the water sign. Now, I just mentioned also this is Scorpio potentially. I'm noticing now the water signs have the Knight of Swords, which is potentially a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. And the Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius here, we have the Emperor, which at least in part rules or represents the planet Mars, which rules the energy of Scorpio. So there could be some air / Scorpio specific combinations too. Well, we saw that in the beginning, I guess, with the King, and I said first Pisces, then Scorpio, then Cancer would likely be the lineup. So I guess that is falling into place too. So the Knight of Swords, believe it or not, because it's swords, it doesn't come across very romantic, at least not to me. But it can be about, you know, feeling or being like literally swept off your feet. You know, whether you're male or female. Particularly if you're single, like meeting somebody that's just like woo, like, and then you just like start like on a whirlwind. If you're currently in a committed relationship, the Knight of Swords showing up upright can usually mean that it's about to get, you know, better, more committed, deeper, more satisfying. If we're single and looking, then something can come across, you know, come around. Like literally when we least, like we're not looking, you know, and it's just like love just pops up. You know, like that song with Kanye and what's the woman? I can't think of her name right now. She has a really nice voice, but she sort of got blackballed because of Beyonce, or, you know, like the labels had something going between her and Beyonce. I can't think of her name right now. I keep wanting to say Khalees, and that's not who I mean. So anyway, whoever the song is by, sometimes love knocks you down. It's like when you're unexpected. You know, you're not expecting it, and all of a sudden it just comes out of nowhere, and boom, you know. Yeah. And so that could definitely come along. And it does help if you are being social and like you're out with other people. If you have an opportunity to get dressed up and, you know, hit the town, you should take it and, you know, have fun, enjoy it. And all of this would be in relation to moving beyond some sort of past hurt, even if it's with the same person, which is not necessarily an indication that this would be an ex that's returning, but it's possible. And if it is, you know, maybe something didn't work out before, but you know, we can move beyond whatever hurt that was, and it can work out now. Now, for each sign, we'll pull from here. Beginning with Aries. There's no reversals in this deck, so I'm going to turn it upright. Your card is the Hermit, Aries. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Your card is the Empress, which in part represents the sign of Taurus, because it's all about Venus, your ruler. Can you see the cards? Okay. Gemini. How could I forget? The Three of Cups. And Cancer. The Page of Wands. So, funny that I was just talking about possible exes returning, because Major Arcana card 9, the Hermit, is often about an ex returning and trying to rekindle some relationship from the past. Take time for contemplation, to retreat and to go within, be a beacon for others on their path to spiritual enlightenment. And you may need to take time for contemplation and to retreat and to go within to decide whether or not you are interested in sparking or re-sparking this, relighting this spark from the past. And it's funny because there's all these fireflies and lights, and there's an actual lantern and light here. So maybe that's an indication that some of you guys should be relighting the spark. For Taurus, you guys also have a major arcana card, also the element of earth, and it is major arcana card 3, the Empress, which again represents the planet Venus. Did I mention the Hermit represents the sign of Virgo most directly? I don't think I did. So this is Venus, so that means Taurus, Libra, and Gemini. Time to hop into action. Use your natural creativity to bring forth prosperity and success in your life. With regard to love and relationship, this is a extremely attractive, feminine, fertile energy. If you are in a couple and you're wanting to work on having a child, this could definitely be the week, to get pregnant or to learn that you're pregnant, to give birth, or even to give birth to some sort of new aspect of your relationship, maybe new commitment. If you're single, again, you are extremely attractive this week. And if you get out and about, you should have no trouble at all meeting somebody. Moving on to Gemini and the Three of Cups, same thing for you or for us, a celebration, a wedding, graduation, or a birth announcement, and the need to have more fun. This is about us being social and getting out there. We may even be invited to something like somebody else's wedding or something and meet somebody there. If we get some sort of social invitation like that, we should definitely go. Three of Cups, in a general sense, not even necessarily tied to love, can also be about it's the strongest meaning in general of the Three of Cups is being reunited with someone or something from the past. So this can be another occasion too, where an ex is indeed returning and you're deciding whether or not, but it's a pleasant reunion. So even if you decide not to get back together, you're not upset about seeing this ex. So this is a pleasant reunion with someone or something from your past. If you're single, the most likely meaning as it relates to love, though, is that, somebody coming your way will be really, really perfect. So maybe like a King of Cups type, again, that balanced, healthy, masculine and feminine energy. They'll just really fit the bill in terms of what you need and or are looking for in love. The Page of Wands, Cancer, is potentially a fire sign, an Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. This page is typically identified as a female, but of course it can be male or female, masculine or feminine. None of it is, gender or sexuality specific. It's just that when the page is described, she tends to be described as a female. So maybe she will be for you guys in your life. And maybe not only female, but a fire sign, a direct fire sign. She is energetic, outgoing, optimistic, and creative. Creative opportunities that you feel passionate about are coming your way. Personal growth and broadened horizons will spark fresh and original ideas. And this card also says that messages of, like love and letting you know that somebody's attracted to you, interested in you, that sort of thing should be coming your way this week too. And if you're single, when this card shows up, it can be about a new, potential mate, a new suitor that's coming your way. And the person will be like, you'll have a lot in common with them. And you both probably be, very adventurous and like to do fun stuff because it's a fast moving, Wands is like a fast moving energy, so you like to be out and about, maybe in the sun and, just enjoying life, living life, which is nice. If you're in a committed relationship, then again, it can deepen. If you're in a committed relationship that's unhappy and this card shows up, then it means it's time to put the cards on the table, no pun intended, and figure out like where we go from here, if anywhere. Sometimes, people will decide to end their relationship, and then that can be from where or how those who to whom that applies, how the Three of Swords in reverse is meant for you. So now I'm just going to add cards from the numerology deck. So Aries, your card is 55, adventure. I think it's telling you to take a walk on the wild side, take a chance on this person from the past. They come up. Taurus and the Empress, we got pride. And, and I think this could definitely be about you, taking pride in like your work and stuff. And again, you're dedicated to that. But there's a need to maybe like let that guard down and open up, and again, go ahead and meet somebody. If you're interested in meeting somebody, you are super attractive this week, and you can definitely do it by getting out there. There could be there's something coming up, because there could be like some sort of party of three situation too, and maybe there is a situation there where we have to let go of pride and or ego in order to end up where our heart and soul says we belong. We may have to again swallow our pride and apologize to somebody, or initiate conversation, reach out first, or something like that. Gemini. Time out. I think in terms of us needing to be social, it's like we got to spend some time out. We got to get out and about and see the world and meet people. Cancer. Spiritual partnership. Okay. I said you'd have a lot in common, and you really enjoy spending time with this person. So from the Ascended Masters deck, joining the sign of Aries, we have come out of the closet, and I think it's just like, again, it's telling you to go ahead, come out, enjoy the adventure. Don't worry about really anything, what people might say about it, what people might think. Do you. Taurus, joining Pride and your three, the Empress. We have father, husband, brother, son, and Osiris. This person could be the part of the party of three. Party of three doesn't, at least in my reading, doesn't necessarily mean that the person, has another, it's a threesome, or, one or more people has another mate. It's anybody who is somehow in the way of the relationship. Also, when you're talking about father, husband, brother, son, and in relation to the Empress, this could be, again, about becoming a father, about, pregnancy, being particularly fertile right now. Osiris is actually the god of the living and the dead, but they all, he's considered the god of fertility, the living, the giving life, the god of, fertility. I just thought about something with him, because I've been thinking about doing, I hear a lot of particularly Black people, and maybe white people do it too, and I'm not in those circles where they're talking about this, but a lot of negativity like against Freemasons and Freemasonry. And when I got involved, or when I first was like awakened to this, and my third eye became, decalcified, and I was seeing more stuff than I ever had, because I always, could see stuff and whatnot, like I've been psychic all my life. But when I started being awakened to this particular spiritual path and journey, I all of a sudden, numbers. I mean, you guys know I basically speak in numbers, gematria, angel numbers, supreme math. And Freemasonry was also one that I was shown, like a language that sort of flooded into my head, clear, like cognizance, like all of a sudden I just knew it. And, people would say all these bad things about it, and I'm like, no. Well, I came to know that the Freemasons were actually originally started in something like 16th century BC by ancient black Egyptians that were followers of Osiris specifically. So I think I'll do something separate on that. And if you hear or see all that on somebody else's channel, you know where it came from. Anyway, moving on to Gemini. Spiritual law of attraction. So yeah, we have to be out and about and drawing, you know, to us what it is we want. So I think that that's what this is here. And also in terms of retrieving something that was lost, right? Drawing something back to us, including a soulmate maybe, with our Three of Cups, being reunited, having a pleasant reunion with something or someone from our past through the spiritual law of attraction. And last but not least, for the Cancers, we have crystals. And maybe this is how you will bring about your uniting or reuniting with your person. And this person, again, that's going to have so much in common with you, and have a nice, fiery, adventurous relationship. And or crystals may be one of the things that you have in common. Some sort of connection to crystals. You both sell them, or you both, you know, wear tons. You both use them in different rituals and spells or whatever it is. Both collect them. Different things like that is what I'm getting for you guys. I'm going to move on to Leo. So I'll take these away. I'm not going to put the cards that I use back in the deck. I like to do that sometimes, but I'm not going to. So, I mean, here we have 2 of each card. So if a card wants to come back from one of these decks, they can. But in terms of the Ascended Master deck and the numerology deck, I'm not going to. All right, Leo. You got the 3 of Cups also. So, just like the Gemini's got. I'll read it after. Virgo. Major Arcana card 7, the Chariot. Libra. The 6 of Wands. And Scorpio. This is your energy. Major Arcana card 20, Renewal. It's actually Judgment, which represents the planet Pluto and the sign of Scorpio. How perfect is that? So, 3 of Cups, we've been through it. It's about having a pleasant reunion with at least, you know, one person or thing from your past. And or about your need to be more social and to get out there. And the possibility for you to meet somebody at some sort of social event. Maybe somebody else's wedding or party. So if you get invited to something, you should definitely go. You have an exciting reason to celebrate, such as an engagement, wedding, graduation, or a birth announcement. Remember to cherish those you love. Yeah, there could be pregnancy, you know, in the future or this week for Geminis and Leos as well, with the 3 of Cups. Virgo, right? Leo, Virgo, yes. Major Arcana card 7, the Chariot. An important achievement, self-discipline and willpower, public recognition. Chariot can also be about one, so either you or the potential love interest or actual love interest, the mate, like going too hard or too fast. So either you're like pressuring somebody and trying to push and force the relationship, or maybe somebody's doing that to you. And in either direction, it's not really advised, you know. So the guidance is to slow down the pace if that's happening. If you're not on the same page in a relationship, take it a little bit, you know, slow and steady wins the race, as they say. Again, this card represents the sign of Cancer. That may be with whom you are involved. Moving on to Libra and the 6 of Wands. So this card can be about a deepening, again, of a relationship, meeting somebody new, and just really hitting it off, having, you know, just having a lot in common, similar to the Page of Wands, and just feeling like this is the kind of person you've been dreaming about, you know. If you're already in a relationship, then you'll find it like deepening. Just all of a sudden, it can even just, you know, just feels like suddenly, you just feel a lot happier and a lot closer to the person. Like your relationship is more meaningful and a lot deeper. Scorpio. So Judgment has a lot of meanings. One of the ones is second chances or second time around. And that's not specific to love. That's in general a meaning for the card Judgment. But it can definitely be about love. So I'm thinking about the die, you know, try again. And maybe you've tried with somebody and it just hasn't worked. Maybe you are in some sort of party of three situation where there is some sort of block there. Someone or something sort of has been in the way, or you've at least felt that way. And, you know, so things haven't worked, but this is guidance to try again, certainly if you feel it in your heart. And then for me, Judgment also is, again, in general, whether it's love or any other area of your life, it's about abundance that's earned. So it's about something really wonderful that wants to come your way because you deserve it. Whether you did some sort of direct, you know, work, labor, physical thing for it, or, you know, like spiritually, you've done the work and the universe of God wants to reward you. That's the energy that I pick up when I pick up Judgment. Also, it can definitely warn against being presumptuous, whether, you know, in a positive way or in a negative way. So don't like presume anybody's wonderful, you know, particularly if this is somebody new, and don't presume anything is negative about them, even if you've heard bad things. Like, see for yourself, you know what I mean? Like, don't presume like rumors and things are true. Investigate it on your own. All right, so let's see your other cards from the numerology deck for Virgo. We have personal growth. And I think that this is tied to the fact that the earth signs before, they got this card and they do have this energy about being really focused on something. And the Virgo, like I mentioned, I think that Venus is currently in Virgo. It's not necessarily like one of the most loving placements, you know, because these Virgos, again, are very work-oriented, detail-oriented, and sort of perfectionists. And can have an expectation of other people being the same way. So I think in being social and getting to meet people and know people on like a different level, it's a personal growth for you too, because it takes your focus off of maybe the more material and the more earthly matters, and you know, sort of redirects you toward matters of the heart and emotional things. Maybe even spiritual things, spiritual relationship. The 7 means God or the divine. You know what I mean? Is this Virgo? Leo, right? Virgo, Libra, Scorpio. Yes, I'm sorry. So now Virgo. I think I said Virgo here. I apologize. Now, Virgo, your card is 99, compassion. So maybe if you're like, again, letting this person know that they're pushing too hard or pushing too fast, you know, it's doing it in a loving and a compassionate way, not to hurt their feelings. Just say, we need to slow this down. Like, I'm not ready for all this yet, but I like you. Or vice versa. You know, show yourself some compassion and realize that maybe I'm pushing too hard and I like this person, so I want to, you know, slow it down so I don't chase them away. Libra. Self-discipline is here joining your 6 of Wands. And that's interesting. And I think that it has to do with balance. First of all, we have 41, 4 plus 1 equals 5. That, you know, that's a energy of, can be representative of balance or need for balance. And also, you know, your sign is about that. So I think that that's where it's saying self-discipline. Yes, this wonderful relationship could be developing for you, you know, and better than it had been, better than your usual, whatever. But don't forget about you also. And moving on to Scorpio, your card is card number 8, and manifestation. And that's exactly what judgment is about for me. It's about manifesting. Again, it's about abundance, which can be represented by 8, that is earned. So you are manifesting these things because you absolutely deserve it, you know, right now. We'll do the last 4 signs now. I'm sorry, did I give you guys your Ascendant MasterCard? I don't think I did. So before we go on to the last 4 signs, let me do that. Leo. Balance, career, and home life, says Isis. So it's funny because it's the earth signs that had gotten, you know, that there was an indication that they needed to do that. You had, so there's a need to be social. Maybe that's what it is. You're not being social. So you need to balance career and home life. You need to get out and be social. You got that 3 of Cups. And as I said, I think that that would lead to personal growth also. Virgo. Take charge of this situation. So yeah, before it gets out of hand and you push somebody too hard, or you allow somebody to push you too hard, take charge of the situation in a compassionate way. Slow it down. Unless you know, if you're good with the pace, then don't. You know, this guidance is only for those who feel like it may be a bit much, like, you know, doing too much. Libra. Artistic expression, and Paul the Venetian. So you had the 6 of Wands and self discipline, right? Self-discipline. So I think this could be like taking an initiative, and maybe your situation suddenly gets better for those to whom that apply, or you suddenly meet somebody that you can really vibe with because you are taking an initiative. You are doing something differently. You're expressing yourself. You know, you're out there, and that's how you're bringing that about. Lastly, Scorpio. We do have retreat into nature and green man. So I don't know if this is literal for you guys. I mean, you may need to, it doesn't hurt to do some introspection, to go into nature and to get grounded and all that kind of stuff. But I'm really more focused on the green man in relation to judgment, because this is another card. I mean, this is a god, basically a deity of abundance. So it goes along with your manifestation and your judgment very nicely. Now, I don't know if you guys can hear the construction that's going on by me. If you do, and it's bothersome, I do apologize. I didn't realize it was going to be happening. Sagittarius. Wow. This is totally your energy, like exactly. In terms of the tarot, traditional tarot, if you like want to pick a card, it is the King of Wands specifically that is said to represent the sign of Sagittarius. Inspiring, dramatic, ambitious, and wise. Now's your moment to step up to a leadership role. Don't back away from the spotlight, as your plans will be successful as long as you stay focused on the big picture. Of course, the King of Wands is also the quintessential divine masculine of the tarot, as well as a card that bodes really well for love and relationship that I'll go a little bit deeper into in a second. After Sagittarius, we have Capricorn. Capricorn, your card is Major Arcana card 14, Balance or Temperance, which for me represents the sign of Aquarius, but traditionally it represents the sign of Sagittarius. By merging varying points of view, you can now generate an extraordinary new idea, compromise with others, and collaborate to discover a better solution. We do have Jupiter, actually the ruler of the sign of Sagittarius, currently retrograde in Aquarius. So that could be what this is about, the way that it's affecting you as a Capricorn. Aquarius. Four of Cups. Missing an opportunity. Discontentment or boredom. Open your eyes to the possibilities. And lastly, Pisces. You two got a Two of Pentacles. You may be under stress because of multiple jobs or too many responsibilities for one person to manage. It's important to balance your work and your personal life and to bring a spirit of fun to all you do. So, Sagittarius, the King of Wands is a really awesome card for a love and relationship. He represents somebody that you care about, and cares about you, and very protective sort of feelings for you, like the King of the Jungle, right? You know, they're also like willing to work hard if necessary. I mean, hopefully, you know, to make the relationship work. Hopefully that's not that won't be required, but they're willing to do it if that's what it's going to take. It's possible that you actually, or one of you, is the one that's not this energy, is more focused on work or career right now. Well, actually, the one that is this energy, it's possible that they're that too. And need to make time for love and relationship, for romance. Even if you're single, again, you could be filling up your time with other stuff, like I said to some of the other signs. So if that's the case, you want to make room to let somebody in. So moving on to Capricorn, and you have, again, Major Arcana card Temperance, and this can be about having peace, like from within, peace within yourself and self-love and things before you can actually have, you know, a peaceful, healthy, loving relationship with somebody else. There could be some sort of guilt feelings or something attached to a past relationship, and maybe that's what the Three of Swords means for you guys. And if that's the case, you know, you really got to look at what these things are. Like, what is it about? What do I feel guilty? And then like forgive yourself for it and let it go, like release it. And that's really the only way that you're gonna be able to move forward in a relationship. Temperance is also about negotiations and collaborations and compromises and coming together, and can be about people with like vast differences too. So like we have it's represented with a zebra on it. You know, maybe one is black, maybe one is white, and that you know, potentially was a problem that maybe you let come between you, or that you you know, it's not a problem. You thought it was a problem. One of you thought it was a problem. Somebody around you thought it was a problem, and you like let that affect your relationship or your decision as to whether or not you're interested in dating this person. So that can be something too that you need to think about. It could be race, age, you know, religion, whatever. Just a difference of opinion or morality or something that is like sort of getting in the way. Moving on to the sign of Aquarius and the Four of Cups. We may be being unrealistic when it comes to love, and having our heart set on one specific person or one specific type of relationship, and excluding everything else. And that's why we're not necessarily finding what we want or finding happiness. You're like, it's like you're never going to be satisfied because this maybe perfect thing that you have in your mind doesn't necessarily exist. Or we could be focused, again, it could be a specific person and we're willing to give them whatever, but they're not giving us much back in terms of energy in return. And it's possible that they're like very literally unavailable. Like maybe maybe they're partnered already, or maybe, you know, they put themselves into work or whatever, or maybe they're dealing with some sort of issue, so they're emotionally unavailable, or whatever the case is. But you know, and we're still just like focused on them, so we're allowing that to become a block in our lives. Time to move on. And again, the Three of Wands and Three of Swords rather in reverse is about finally moving on from that sort of thing. So The Four of Cups, similarly in reverse. There's no reversals in this deck, but when that Four of Cups goes in reverse, so when you've made progress there, it means like, okay, I'm finally ready to stop, again, wallowing in self-pity and sitting around doing nothing, and to take some sort of action, in my own life. So some of you could be ready to do that. Moving on to the sign of Pisces, our last and final sign, last but not least. And again, you got the Two of Pentacles as well. And whether the Two of Pentacles is upright or in reverse, it always means that we, similar to what I said to the King of Wands, may not be allowing time in our life, whether we're single or couple, for a relationship, for another person to share with us. And that is going to be something we want to work on, because it's also an indication of imbalance, for us. We just we're only allowing one type of energy. So, like, again, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy, Jill a dull girl. We to be healthy, emotionally balanced, emotionally healthy, we need some social, some me time, some us time, or whatever, however you want to call it as well. So now pulling you guys' numerology cards, going back to you, Sagittarius, and you got happy ending. And this card reminds me of the sun, which also represents you in the tarot. So it's kind of funny, but something working out well for you guys and positively for you guys, in terms of love and relationship. Capricorn, I'm sorry. And you got a card of your element too. It is card number 74, Nature, one of the cards with which we started. But it's this very green card. And again, I think it's going to be about you just sort of being in your own element, and maybe needing to step outside of that a little bit. So a little bit of getting outside of what your true nature is and exploring some other things and having some fun. And maybe reaching a compromise with somebody, meeting someone in the middle, or, daring to walk on the wild side and date somebody, or again, of a different race or religion or creed or belief system or age or whatever, outside of your typical nature. Aquarius. For you, it's all these fours. So there's something about the foundations that you're building or not building, Aquarius. We got card number 44, environment. And you may want to, make some changes to that, to your environment, so to speak, the people, places, or things with which we surround ourselves, and do something a little bit different. And that will be, again, just do something do someone a little bit different. Instead of being focused on one type of person or one person in particular, switch it up a little bit and start, checking out some other types of people, or other types of, be open to considering other types of relationships, or other types of people, or other people, period. And if you're focused on one person, and see what happens. Let somebody else into your environment. And again, last but not least, Pisces, your card is individuality. It's another 2. So again, this balance is very important for you guys right now. You got the 2 of Pentacles, then you got this individuality, which again is a 2. 2s are about partnership, but they're also about balance. And the 2 of Pentacles suggests that you guys may be out of balance. So it's working on you to fix that. Going back to the front to pull the Ascendant Master cards. And for you, Sagittarius, we have Teacher. This Teacher card tends to feel, for me, very Hermit / Hierophant. So it could be a lesson in your situation for you, or you could be teaching a lesson to somebody else, or there could be a literal teacher involved in this situation. Happy ending. I think it's more so about the lesson. So maybe you have to go through something, but it's like all's well that ends well. Capricorn. The power of joy. So again, it's about, being happy, and maybe exploring other ways and things in order to be happy, and meeting somebody in the middle. And we got this rainbow here. For some of you, like I said, it's not your typical nature, and maybe you're trying to force yourself to be with a particular person, or a particular gender of person, or sexuality of person, and maybe you need to consider somebody else, if you get where I'm going. Aquarius, I don't know why I keep doing that. Follow your heart. And you might be saying, but my heart is focused on that one thing, that one time, that one person. I think you have to first open your heart and then follow it. Open your heart and mind to other possibilities, and then, go where it leads you. And last but not least, Pisces, your card is yes. And Lord Ganesha, so if there is some sort of obstacle that has been in your way, he shows up to say, I'm going to knock that down and, make a path, make a clear path for you to just walk straight to the abundance. So have a good week, guys. I hope you have enjoyed this reading. Please do like, share, subscribe, and comment. I do appreciate it. And apparently I need it for the YouTube algorithm in order for other people to be able to receive the messages, which, might be nice. So I do thank you for, watching as far as you do, and, liking, sharing, subscribing, and commenting to the extent that you do. Whatever you do, thanks. Namaste.